Good morning. This is Susan Hintz Epstein, and I have the rune readings for the week of March 16th through 22nd. This is the Rune of the Day podcast, and I hope to soon be able to return to daily podcast. But for the time being, I've been doing a weekly review, which some people seem to like because it's compacted into one place. The rune for Sunday, March 16th, is the rune Ak. This is the rune of the oak tree. It's about standing alone. It's about drawing the lightning. It's about leadership. It's about having everything within yourself that gives you the confidence to move forward with originality and creativity. And in this way, we become leaders. We become leaders by example. On Monday, the 17th of March, St. Patty's Day, this is the rune of the journey. The journey is all about movement. In the ancient times, they looked at it as the cart that was drawn by Thor's goats as he went about his work at defeating giants. And what is the cart but run by wheels that go around and around and around? And the ancients knew that the planets are round, things go around. The day goes around, the sun comes around the planet, the moon comes around the planet comes around the sun. You know, they have cycles. Movement has cycles. There is a divine timing for everything. It is gravity that holds everything in its place. So if you're thinking about what to move on, how to move on things, you can take a step back and look at the situation and see where the gravity of it is drawing you to move. For Tuesday, the 18th of March, we have drawn the rune Berkano. Berkano is the birch tree, Berkta. Berkta relates to an ancient birch goddess. In the rune poems, the birches were always dancing, moving, celebrating life, first to bloom. So the woman is the life bearer. We celebrate life. We give so much of our time and care and attention, not only to creating babies, but to raising our children, those of us who are mothers. This rune is also a rune of creation and co-creation within the consciousness that is all of life. So this rune pertains today to creation in one form or another, supporting the animated forces of life itself. Wednesday, the 19th of March, we talked about mothers and we talked about raising children, but this is the rune of masculine fertility. It's about planting seeds. So if you have had some ideas going forward this week of things that you would like to create, ways you'd like to improve your life, ways of trying to find the words here. We are living in a different earth than we have ever known. The political powers, the climate is changing. Some of us are just wondering how we're going to adapt to the situation as it is. So for you, this may be about planting seeds of how you will get along, you will reorganize your life, how you will cope. For others of us, it is just about planting seeds and carrying on life as normally as possible. But planting seeds is always a invitation to a new beginning. We understand that things take time to gestate. Things take time to come to fruition. Things take time to achieve the long view. So for Thursday, the 20th of February, we have the rune El Hajj, only it's reversed. And when El Hajj is reversed, it I always identify this as pertaining to the roots of the tree. When you plant a seed in the garden, first of all, it sends forth its little roots and it sends forth its little shoot. But how well the shoot is supported depends on how deep and how generously the roots are fed. So today may be a day for you to go to the root of a matter, the root of the seed, and look at what it will take to feed your new beginning. On Friday, the 21st of March, we have Dayaj. This is the rune of a breakthrough. Daylight has come in some way, yet we are also mindful that days have their nights. For those people who are religious, for whatever form of religious you are about, there is the I don't know if I want to call it an archetype, but there is a pattern of the dark night of the soul. In the course of human awakening, many of us will pass through one or more dark nights of the soul, but they're here. In this rune is the faith at those liminal points where day meets night and night meets day. That a point of certainty will come, a point of knowing will come, a point of understanding will come. For most of us, ascension doesn't happen overnight. It's a lifetime of small epiphanies, each one building upon the next. So we have that pattern. It's I'm jumping across religious analogies here, but it's kind of like a Jacob's ladder. You climb toward heaven and you descend again. You know, the shamans of the ancient days would climb trees to get closer to heaven, and they would have their shaman journey or their shaman vision up there. And you climb down from the tree. You know, it's a matter. We have a spirit in a body. We have to take care of the body, yet we have to also take care of our spirit and our soul. So it's a climbing and a descent, and it's a frequency that we have. But the more clear we are in our own light, in our own being, the more light we carry, the more we have the capacity to hold space, hold sacred space, to know our own sacred space, and hold that space for others who may not have yet come into their light. And the world right now, as I see it, is in a difficult place. We have people who have done incredible work towards ascension, and they are holding space for others. But this sometimes is a hard thing to live with when you want to see a brighter, lighter world, to see the greed and the corruption and the other things that are coming out at this time are here for us to examine. On Saturday, the 22nd of March, Ansuz comes up reversed. And this is the God rune. You know, so this, in material terms, this can mean legal problems. This can mean a closed throat chakra. You're not giving expression to something you need to give expression to, or it can also reflect that for people like myself, a disappointment that humanity isn't better than it is, but we are struggling through that. So for people like me who get impatient, patience is a thing to work on, and holding space for others who have not gotten there yet. You know, also holding space for the wisdom that it is all of us making up the human spirit of our species that have to transform. And I had said last week that I didn't want to do any politics. I think I'm walking the line here a little bit, but I had the insight this week that if the human collective, and the human collective is the consciousness that animates all human beings, then in the actions of our American president, who is closing the borders and who is imposing tariffs and sort of forcing us as a country into a period of introspection. And it is a period of introspection that is also coercing other countries to take a new stance on things instead of relying on the United States to be a power. And we are in the process of evolution, and we're not seeing the outcome yet. But I think it's interesting um, from a witness point of view that we had somebody who suddenly upset the apple cart in terms of how the world order was always perceived. And now, because of this person, we're supposed to be best friends with Russia, and no way. But anyway, it's just things are happening so chaotically at a global scale that America is forced into a period of introspection. And Americans now need to take a hard look at themselves and what do you stand for? What are your values? What are your motivators? What are your goals and aspirations? What is the demand of your soul? Even below the level of goal setting, because that is strictly an intellectual exercise that you can follow through with action. But what is your heart calling you to do? I grew up in the 60s where there was support for integration and appreciation of diversity and people of other colors and appreciation for people of different physical capacities and mental capacities. And it's just been a grand adventure. And in my older age, I'm just sort of enjoying watching how things unfold. So, anyway, I didn't want to get political. I just wanted to put out my insights. If America is becoming introspective, how do you feel about that? What are you going to do about that? This is Susan Hintz Epstein, aka Susan of the North, signing out for the weekly Rune of the Day podcast from March 16th to the 22nd. And remember, we all have a voice. How do we choose to use it?